Hello, hello, and welcome, my Gemini Collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and happy, creative, having a good time working for you all today. If you are new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm putting out content pretty much every day, trying to at least. Maybe taking one day off a week, because, you know, human being, spirit incarnate as a human being, like to take a day off. Gotta do laundry eventually, right? So if you will, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and feel free to comment on my work on these videos, particularly if something makes sense for you or you see something that I don't see there, because, you know, we're all in this together. Cool, cool. My Geminis, and plus you're natural communicators. So reach out and touch someone, even in a comment, right? Because let's get down to business, shall we? This is a general read. Please take what resonates, leave what does not, and check your other signs, which is why I do sun, moon, and rising signs for the What Do I Need reads, astrologically based. The relationship ones I do sun, moon, rising, Venus, right? Mercury retrogrades, I throw in Mercury. So being that Mercury is going direct, I can't wait. Can't wait. These last few days are just kicking my Virgo ass, and that is something we have in common. We are both ruled by the planet Mercury. It doesn't even really go backwards in the sky, and it's still driving us nuts. So please do take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, because this full moon to new moon, at least we have it going direct when the moon goes full in Virgo, which I think is a little odd that the planet that rules Virgo is going direct the day that it goes full. That probably means something. I want to see what happens in the world this day, which is why I'm taking Monday off, right? Because we're looking at March 3rd, this new moon, full moon in Virgo, and the new moon is on March 24th. So it should be an interesting time, considering Mercury is going to be in it's going to station, and it's going to move through its shadow and all of that. It should be a very interesting time to be alive on planet Earth. That being said, all we're doing here is we're pulling one card from 7 different decks, sort of giving you pieces of puzzle, right? Some clues, some tips, some hints from my pantheons of divinity that I work with. I am a mystic. So I bless the cards before I hit record. I actually made a video, one of the clarifying series, clarifying how I bless the decks, DECKS, just to, you know, keep it clean, because it is, right? So go check that out. It's in the description box below, as well as a thank you for my subscribers for getting me to over 1,000 subscribers. Drunk Tarot is fun, and I'm going to be doing more super chats as things normalize a little bit. Cool, cool. That being said, let's dive in. Please remember to breathe. Particularly with air signs, the more we breathe, the more, well, we're going to breathe anyway, but the more we're deliberately, consciously working with the breath, right? Breath work, focusing on the breath brings us into the present moment. We can let that nervous system de-escalate a little bit and be more in tune to our own intuitive and spiritual energies, so that, honestly, if you're doing it, you can feel what resonates and leave what doesn't. Cool, cool. Let's do this. We're going to start with Caroline Myss Archetype deck. Just one, as I said, one from each deck. All the decks that I read are in the description box below. Cool, cool. All the way at the bottom, I got some ebooks in there that I've done, other videos that I've recorded, so go check them out. Well, yeah, thanks. Let's do this. Breathe. Oh, my collective pantheons, please, 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 please. One card in clarity. My angels, my goddesses, my gods, my masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. One card in clarity for this Gemini collective sun, moon, rising sign. For this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries, please. What is the dominant archetype that they will be dealing with this waning moon, full moon to new moon next March 2020? Now, before I flip this one, I just like to say this deck can be a little triggery, as can Caroline Myss, by the way. I adore her. She's a tough cookie from Chicago. I'm from Chicago! I'm always waiting for her to say that. Drag Race season 1 moment for don't call her Ms. Mace. She hates that Caroline. We've never met. We've never met her, but I adore her. But in these cards, because they are archetypal powers, right? Soul contracts, pieces of contracts, that they are neutral, shadow and light, positive and negative. Oh, this is interesting. So this could be you. This could be someone that you're dealing with. This could be an overall situation that carries this type of power in it. For a full moon to new moon next, Mercury going direct, we've got the father archetype. Now, just the word father has been triggering people lately because, you know, the patriarchal energy on the planet. Like, I was raised by a feminist. My mom, I'm a feminist. Raised by, I am one, right? Divine feminine. So, you know, what we're seeing with the patriarchal energy on the planet alone, and I don't just mean one person's father, I mean what has come of the old toxic divine masculine, because it's going through its death and rebirth. If you haven't noticed, it only takes Armageddon or the spiritual awakening of the planet, which is two sides of the same coin, apparently. So I'm going to read you the shadow, right? The triggery part, so that we can focus more and work towards the light attribute, because if you want to look lead and gold, lead has 3 more atoms than gold. I know it doesn't seem that way. You'd think more atoms, the more value. But lead is toxic. Gold isn't. Gold, actually, you can get colloidal gold, like colloidal silver, if you've ever heard of that. So here's the healing stuff. So 3 things, 3 atoms have to be burned off, given away, or if you like, waned, waning moon, full to new moon next, in order to reach the light. So with the father archetype, in the shadow, dictatorial control, abuse of authority. I haven't seen that anywhere in the news anytime recently. I know. The light attribute that you're shooting for here, whether it's you, someone else, or the situation you are in. Talent for creating and supporting life, right? Creating life like a father and a mother does, but definitely that thing of support, like even in metaphysical, medical intuition, things like that. The mother tends to be the upper chest, the breasts, right? Makes sense, nursing. The father tends to be the lower back, the support system, right? Positive guiding light within a tribal unit. So that's what we really need right now. We need the divine masculines. And by the way, I have the mother archetype lifelong. It is like written in to my alchemical chemistry, which is a little tricky to say. So by all means, the father archetype can exist within a female body as well. So if you have any of it, really look at your dictatorial control, your abuse of authority, and really how you can be a guiding light, how you can create and support life, maybe even as an artist, right, or help other people. Well, it's like the word patron, right? Like Patreon, like patron means father, right? Like my divine patron is the great god Dionysus, right? It's a long story. My whole life he's been with me. So think of that as that sort of like spiritual father or artistic father, creative father, helping to create and support life. So, I mean, and it's light, it's absolutely beautiful. And that's the thing to know about archetypes. Like, definitely, my introduction to archetypes wasn't originally through Carl Jung. It was through Jean Shinoda Bolen, 2 books, Gods in Every Man and Goddesses in Every Woman. Brilliant. But that also prepared me for the work of Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Mace. Once I read Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Mace, then I started going back to Carl Jung and studying all that stuff. So
I found this on the web.
my phone just decided to start talking. Mercury retrograde! Can't wait till Monday. So you kind of get the vibe of that, right? Definitely go check out Carolyn Mace's stuff. Her website, myss.com, has a gallery of archetypes in there. I adore her. Let's keep moving on, though. That was the collective pantheons. Now we'll go to them individually. We're going to talk to the angels through the Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue. Just 1 card. Let's see what the angels have to say about all of this for y'all. Breathe. I know. My angels, thank you. They're like, rough day, kid? I'm like, yeah. With technical glitches, like crazy. It's like it's waited for these last few days. My angels, please. 1 card in clarity for this Gemini collective sun, moon, rising sign, for this new moon in Virgo to full, see? I just did it again. My angels, please. One card in clarity for this Gemini collective sun, moon, rising sign for this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries, March 2020. Please, a piece of your beloved celestial angelic guidance and grace. What do they need for this full to new moon, March 2020? Answered prayer. Praise the gods. Hallelujah. So mote it be. Hoof and horn. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return. Your prayers have been answered. Well, I mean, you may not see that right at the time you're okay, I get what you're saying here. You may not be seeing this right now because oftentimes we don't realize that our prayer has been heard and answered, particularly from the physical circumstances. However, it does take a while for the quantum field. The energy changes there first, and then it eventually manifests into physical form. It's how it works. It's E equals MC squared. It happens first in energy, and then it manifests into form. Just like we are souls, spirit, if you want, incarnate in a physical body. So as we evolve spiritually, it ripples out and infects the quantum field and eventually drops into physical form. So to see that somehow you may have already created life. You might have already created something through a prayer that you meant. Now, if it's not a literal prayer that you said, do keep in mind that there are different types of prayer. Colloquial prayer. One of my favorite is, oh my God, please, I have to pee so bad. Just get me home, please. Or you're driving. That's what this is. This is driving a car. More like that with me. Right? Please, oh please, help me, God. God, help me, give me strength. That's colloquial prayer, right? There's ritual prayer. The ones that were, now I lay me down to sleep. I ask the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake. What a great prayer for children. I ask the Lord my soul to take a fucking nightmare. I mean, they shouldn't have taught me that one. But then again, I have the grace of prayer. It comes out of my mouth, right? So they're all different ways and types. Even Om and mantras are a form of prayer, a meditative prayer. So whatever it is that you put out there, some will even say that a spell, being the witch that I am, is a prayer with props. Know that it's been answered, but if you're not seeing it yet, that's okay. And it's okay that it's not okay. If you really kind of want it, need it now. But things are unfolding. Just know it's been heard and it has somehow been answered. All right? Because next, we're going to go to our divine feminine and divine masculine, the voices of the goddesses through the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, Fiona Morgan, and the voices of the gods, the Mythic Tarot by Juliet Sharman Burke. Now, I say goddesses and gods. You could say the collective divine yin and the collective divine yang, however you say it. I just like personifying mine because that's how they show up. To me, at least. Ready? Breathe. My goddesses. Sweet, delicious goddesses of air. Please, 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 please. One card in clarity for this Gemini collective sun, moon, rising signs for this full moon in Virgo to new moon in Aries, March 2020, please. The collective says the Father archetype, the collective pantheons, the angels are saying answered prayers, so please, my goddesses, what say you? What's going on for this Gemini collective? This full moon to new moon next, March 2020. Good. You got the play card, Bastet, a goddess in and of itself, herself, I should say, but it is a feminist deck. They're all goddesses in here. So you think of that solar feline fire, right? A little Leo, obviously, but Bastet, everybody because it's a cat, or sometimes you see her as a black cat, they think of her as lunar, but she's actually a sun goddess, right? So we're talking this sort of solar creative thing, although definitely in a more feminine form here in terms of play. A 6, right? A 6 is about harmony and balance, like juggling. And here you have like little acrobats kind of bouncing all over the place, like kittens in play with the mama cat protecting and overlooking, watching them and enjoying the playfulness of their children. So even there's this image of giving and supporting life, although this is goddess energy, it's still fire, which is masculine. The two, air and fire, are masculine, water and earth are feminine. That's just how they're written, has nothing to do with bodily gender. I didn't make up that rule, and if I did, it was in a past life and I don't remember it. So what this can be saying is, even if you're dealing with a father archetype, just play along for right now because your prayer has been answered, right? But if you are the father archetype, your prayer has been answered, and get into your creativity. Start enjoying this. Also, I think because you and I, the Virgos and the Geminis, we are ruled by Mercury and it's going direct. Maybe some of the hard-ass frustration we've been through has taught us what we needed to learn. Our soul has experienced what it needed to experience so that we can kick back and enjoy some of the fun, the creativity, the sexuality, the solar play of it all. At least for the gems, right? Let's hope. Let's ask the gods. Let's ask Hermes himself behind my head back there. He's so cute. I'm sure he's got a smirk on his face. Hermes, Mercury. Oh, it's part of a spell. Let's not do that on camera. Please breathe. Feels so good. Please, my gods. One card in clarity for this Gemini collective sun, moon, rising sign. This full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries. Please, what do they need? One card in clarity for this Gemini collective sun, moon, rising sign. Full to new moon, March 2020. That's the one you want me to take, my gods? That's the one I will take. Of course. The Gemini card, Knight of Swords, beautiful hair. Of course, why wouldn't they? Finally, right? Oh, well, at least we know they're paying attention to us, right? So here we go. The gods are saying there's something here about you being authentic. And you know, if you're a sun sign, it means be authentic to your sun sign. Moon sign, be authentic to your moon, right? Your emotions, your intuition, whatever placement that you have. But a really nice blend of fire and air, mutable air, changeable air, the winds. Now, these are the twins, the Dioscuri. It's a long myth. You might want to look that up. Dioscuri, I believe. And definitely something there in terms of the mind, right? About the malleability, the mutability of thoughts here. Like, okay, they're giving me an image here. Like, I actually am part athlete. I'm not all athlete. I'm mostly artist and witch, but I have an athletic quality about me. I was trained as a dancer, right? Oh, you should have seen me in my heyday. But now that I've been doing the Wim Hof method and I'm back in a very athletic kind of thing. So they're showing me a soccer game of all things, okay? And how fast you have to be, not just on your feet, but in your mind in terms of strategy. Because you know, one kick can change the entire game, right? So, but if you can play along instead of getting frustrated when the game changes on you, and that's not the easiest thing in the world. But after this Mercury retrograde, it might be a little bit easier, right? Like lifting weights and then picking up a can of soda, woo, flies out of your hand. It might be a lot easier to play along. So, you know, we've got the Pantheon's really saying here that the support that you need is available either from yourself, right? That father support. We've all kind of heard about mothering ourselves, but it's been part of my spiritual experimentation to learn how to father myself. I'm very good at mothering myself as a divine feminine, but what does it mean to father yourself, right? And that's been part of my prayer. Teach me how to father myself. So if your prayer has been made, then they're saying play along, but keep your mind open and flexible, right? Your thoughts, don't get fixated. In fact, think outside the lines, see things differently, right? Because there are two twins, and you know, you hear people say one is angel, one is devil. I get that. We all have that. That's the spirit and the ego, whatever. But even if you can see it as the left and right hemispheres of the brain, that might be very helpful for you to allow both of them to contribute before any decision making, or particularly if you're playing along, to find the strategy, perhaps the winning, more fun strategy. Cool? 3 more left, and we're doing 7. We are going to ask the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. Baby Love Pack. Love, baby. That's where it's at, yeah. The Voices of the Ascended Masters. We'll also use the Matt Kahn cards as the last card down will be the Voices of the Ascended Masters. So please, my gems, because you're truly outrageous. Truly, truly, truly outrageous. Breathe. Oh, Oh, my Ascended Masters, please. Just one card in clarity. A Chuck Spezzano love pack card. A piece of a problem, a piece of grace, a piece of healing, or a piece of luck, please. A clue, a tip, a hint for this Gemini collective. Sun, moon, rising signs. For this full moon in Virgo to new moon in Aries, March 2020, please. Aw, you got the one of the grace cards. Beauty, beauty, B to the E to the A to the U to the TY. Beauty. So there's something here on this card that I'm feeling that is in the eye of the beholder. You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That this malleability of the mind, the ability to see things differently, you might see what has already been created, that the answer to your prayer might be seeing the beauty of something. Now, maybe not the physical imagery of it. Well, that too. Possibly like my orchid there, right? You know, it's really, really beautiful, but orchids are really hard to keep alive, apparently. I'm doing really good. That was given to me about a year ago by one of my clients, and I was able to keep it alive, and it's blooming in March. It was blooming in February. Obviously an indoor plant. But, you know, look at the work that goes into it. Look at the path that we're all on. Look at the world that, from the Ascended Master point of view, this is perfect. This is beautiful, because we are evolving and transforming through an alchemical process of heat and pressure. Right? We are being alchemized. Our lead is being transformed into gold. Not the easiest thing to do on planet Earth, but necessary for the evolution of humanity, right? Moving from third dimensional duality, separation consciousness through the time corridor of fourth dimension, the psychological world of thoughts and emotions, into unity consciousness, fifth dimensional consciousness. So from the fifth dimensional point of view, everything is beautiful. Yeah, blow me. Sorry. Yeah, the Mercury retrograde's a bit of an ass twister. I'll be the first to say as a Virgo. But particularly when we can get to that playful state. And remember, this is from the divine feminine, more of the earth and the water, right? The physicality, the physiology, and the emotion of it all. Then we could see, you know what, that all really, it worked out beautifully. It sucked at the time, right? Oh, it's like when women give birth to babies, right? They're like, oh, it was such a beautiful experience. Afterwards, right? Like, oh, the process of birth, it's so beautiful. But, you know, while they're going through it, fucking hurts. I wouldn't know. I haven't had one in this life, and my mother was sedated 24 hours ago. Let's ask your higher self what's going on here. I love that beauty card, and it is a card of grace, and sometimes you do have to ask for the grace, so maybe that's part of your answered prayer, right? Start tuning your eyes and your mind to see the beauty of things. That often you have to see it differently, right? You gotta kind of go like that. Take a nice deep breath. We're going to use the Whispers of Love Oracle as the voices for the higher selves of all involved. Here we go. The higher self collective, please. One card in clarity for this Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What do they need from this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries, March 2020, please? The higher selves, a whisper of love from the higher self to the personality and the soul incarnate. Whoever's watching this, oh, thank the gods. Thank the higher selves, I should say. Rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take breaks. Lord knows I do. That's why I think Mondays are going to be my day off to not record. By the way, on Monday full moon, when Mercury goes direct, I'm going to be on Lois T. Martin, numerologist, her radio show, I've Got Your Number. If you can't find it, look for it online, or follow me on Facebook, because that's where I'm posting stuff about it. Lois T. Martin, M-A-R-T-I-N, numerologist. She's brilliant. I've got your number. I've known her since the 90s. She's great. So rest and relaxation is essential, right? Particularly If your nerves have been worked to a fine dust because of this retrograde, like mine almost has been. But then again, I'm a mystic. My spiritual practice, right? I'm always in prayer in one way or another, it would seem. So make sure that you are giving time for the nervous system to de-escalate. Particularly for a full moon to a new moon, you're going through waning moon. So that idea of de-stressing, right? Of releasing, of waning your stress. And by the way, I have to say, if sleep alone did the trick, I'd be fine. I get plenty of sleep nowadays, not always. But it's really about perhaps the physical movement, the yoga, the breath work, the prayer, the meditation, whatever it is that supports you, that allows the ego to go from inflamed to a bit more calm, right? I do a lot of inner child work for that too, and it really does help. But I know in particular, we all have a fundamental need to take breaks. Like fundamental, that's not kidding. You just can't be firing on all cylinders all the time without an eventual breakdown. Just how it works. So maybe this rest and relaxation is co-joined with some play, and maybe that co-joining allows you to create some life. Creatively, sexually, or maybe a baby. maybe baby. I'll have you. I was raised with a lot of music. It's all in my subconscious mind. I can't stop it from playing in my head, so I give it a voice. So now it's in your head. Like a song virus. Let's not go there. Nice deep breath. We're going to ask the Ascended Masters for your last card down. A Healing Mantra card from the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. Oh, I'm covering up his face. By Matt Kahn. Brilliant spiritual teacher. This deck has been a lifesaver for me. A whole pack of peppermint or winto green lifesavers for me. Let's ask the Ascended Masters, shall we? Breathe. My Ascended Masters, please. They're giggling. My Ascended Masters, please. One card in clarity. A Healing Mantra card for this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign, this full moon in Virgo, and Mercury direct to new moon in Aries. What do they need? What is the healing mantra that they need? That if they repeat it verbally aloud, write it, stir it in their coffee, gargle it with peanut butter, whatever works. Please, what is the best healing mantra for them, considering, you know, they've got this rest and relaxation with play. There's some mental malleability there with the Knight of Swords, the Gemini card for a Gemini, and there's beauty and answered prayer and a father. So, you know, what's all this about? Alfie, Ascended Master Alfie. What's the perfect healing mantra for them this full moon to new moon next? By the way, when I ramble like that, it's because it hasn't clicked in my hands yet, and otherwise you have to sit there and watch me do it. They know. That's why I blessed the decks beforehand. Go watch that vid. It was a good one. Expressing free will. Now, expressing, let's just stop there for a second. Expressing, third house is self-expression, my Geminis, right? So not just the gathering of information, but the expressing of information. Often what they do is they gather information, kind of metabolize it, and spit out a completely original thing as a result of all that they've learned, right? My choices determine how brightly I shine, which is true for everybody, but if you really want to shine bright like a diamond, right? A little Rihanna vibe there. This is really that sunlight, that fire, that playful, that sparkle. Sparkle, Gemini, sparkle. Gotta be up at 5 a.m. and sparkle, Gemini, sparkle. Expressing free will. My choices determine how brightly I shine. And I am going to read that for you. I don't think this one is particularly long. Well, they're all a paragraph or so. Expressing, where are you? Expressing free will. My choices determine how brightly I shine. When free will is expressed, the quality of your experiences is based not on the actions of others, but on how wisely and lovingly each moment is viewed. It doesn't match the unconsciousness of others or fight to have the final word. Instead, Free will conveys the brightness of your soul through the sum of your words and actions, even when responding to those who aren't acting their best. Some of you are dealing with a father archetype that's being really belligerent and stubborn. I just felt that. I know that feeling really, really, really well as a divine feminine. So for you to express your free will in a way that is in alignment with your truth, right? With the soul of who you are. This mantra is ideal for overcoming feelings of disempowerment, fulfilling personal goals. That's brilliant. And becoming more ambitious. So let's put all this together, my Geminis. You got this father archetype. It's you, it's another, or it's a situation engendering and supporting life, because a prayer has been answered and there's some aspect of playful fire energy in there from the divine feminine, or in the emotional field, right? More playful. But with this Gemini card, you are the Gemini here in the divine masculine, there's really going to be a mental aspect. So the playing might take a little mental readjustment, mental realignment, just kind of malleability is the word I keep hearing. And I don't use that word because my nickname is Mal, Mark Angelo Lyons, M-A-L, right? And then it feels like the beauty will be shown to you. And perhaps it's even the beauty of what you've already been through that got you to this place, right? To be able to see it. And usually, you know, it's like to climb up a mountain is a lot of work. But once you get to the top and you see the beauty, the 360, right, of the panoramic view of it all, that kind of thing. So maybe you're making your way up this Mercury retrograde mountain, and now you get to actually enjoy it and play and experience that. But it's going to take you really shifting the mind a little bit, while rest and relaxation is essential, right? So if it has been a bit of a nerve grinder for you, I should check my grinder, then definitely the rest and relaxation would be beautiful and would be essential. But remember, this is all about you expressing your free will. My choices determine how brightly I shine. And considering what the Virgos, and look at me crossing my arms, considering what the Virgos and the Geminis have been through, I think it's lovely that we get to shine, right? But we have to use our free will. Our choices determine how brightly we shine. And I'll keep that in mind for me too. As I wish my Gemini collective sun, moon, rising signs the very, very best and the very, very blessed of this full moon in Virgo to new moon and Aries, may you be blessed. May you prosper. May you grow. May you play. Right here, we could do it this way. May you play. May you find beauty. May you engender and support life, or have your life engendered or supported. May your prayers be answered. May you get rest and relaxation. And may your Gemini mind change and see things differently as you express your free will, your choices determining how brightly you shine. Ready? Deck drop. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed, my sweethearts. Let's try and have some fun with this, shall we? But for now, as ever, wishing you hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.